everyone. I don't know why you're here, but I am glad you are because tonight we have so much Big Brother 25 to go over. I mean, like a lot of Big Brother 25. Like 2 weeks of extensive notes, or at least moderately hefty notes that I have to cover in tonight's podcast, covering both weeks 10 and 11, where we saw both Cameron and, spoiler alert for tonight's eviction episode, if you have not seen it yet, Cory go home as the first two members of the Big Brother 25 jury to help decide who will win $750,000. So we have both of those weeks to talk about our favorite moments where we see these house guests going forward in the game, mourning the losses of both Cameron and Cory, which I know my co-host will love to reminisce about their favorite Cameron moments, especially once again as we await his zombified return for a second time in the future. It's only inevitable. But I don't want to even get into that right now. We got to get into this first, Zack, and then we can get into whether or not I am related to Cameron. I'm not.
He is.
Allegedly. But let's start off tonight by introducing my co-host. My name is Barrett, by the way, everyone, if you're joining us here for the first time. Joining me, as always, is the Zack Perez in the Nick City, who I haven't seen in 2 weeks. Last week, last second, kind of to cancel a podcast, so we have even more to cover this week as we are now 3 weeks away from the finale of Big Brother 25. We've almost made it, everybody, through this slugfest of a season. I don't know how we've made it this far, but we only have a few more weeks to lock it in and get everything down packed. So Zack, Nick, welcome. Zack, I'm going to come to you first. We have 2 weeks to cover tonight. What is one thing that you are looking forward to talk about the most out of these 2 weeks?
Looking forward to talking about this past week has been rough on me. Just because, I mean, I love Cormerica or Americory. I don't know, whatever Stan's decided to land on. I guess I'm looking forward to talking about the Zings and OTEV because they decided to combine the two. Because let me tell you, Blue is getting on my last nerve.
You didn't enjoy her kitty purr veto that
Stop!
she won this week. She got herself off the block. We got Americory on the block. I almost said Cormerica because Julie said it tonight, and I know we've established that Cormerica is not what we're saying, even though it is what America referred to them as in tonight's episode. Americory, I should say. Blue did it. That was all her. Do you not agree, Zack? Was that not all Blue's doing?
Okay, we'll talk that comp, that second comp. Like,
yeah, we'll get into all that. I am looking forward to hearing what you thought of all of the things as well. All the competitions, all of our winners, because we still have to talk about a whole Bowie Jane HOH week at some point in this podcast. So I know Zack will have a lot to say about that. But Nick, I'm going to come to you now. We have 2 jurors officially. We have Cameron, we have Cory as of tonight. What do you think of Cameron and Cory being the first 2 members of the jury as we get set for the end game of this season over the next few weeks?
I am here for it because I was not a fan of Cameron, but I was a fan of Cory. So I'm kind of upset that Cory's gone. I'm not going to lie. But in a way, I was looking at like the wiki just now and I was like, wow, there's only 2 men left and there's a lot of women. And I really want a girl to win. So you know what? I'm very happy that the first 2 jury members were men. And now there's a lot more women in the house than there are men. But yeah, I'm sad that Cory's gone. I know that we'll get into everything, but I was a big Cormerica, whatever you want to call them. I'm confused at this point, but I loved them. So yeah.
For what I've seen, there is no choice. It is only Americory and nothing else.
Sure.
So don't even try with Cormerica. I don't know.
Got it.
I wasn't there for the naming. But I was there for the funeral tonight, so if that counts for anything.
Cory has joined the fellow second jurors group, and that's Jasmine, DX, Davon from BB or All Stars. We got Kat, And then who was that's all I kind of remember. Who's the second who's the
Come on,
second
you
one?
got this. I don't know if we
On
can say it too
20?
I
long.
don't know
I'm
if
trying
the
to figure out
answer
second
either, but
jurors.
I'm sure you could think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second one on 20, because the first juror was Rocks.
Yeah.
No, Bailey. The first juror was Bailey. So
Yeah.
Rockstar was the second juror on 20.
Jameson barely
Yeah.
beat you to it.
Okay.
So I'm going to give that point to Jameson, which is a good way or a good time to point out that we do have the chat open. So if anybody would like to chat about anything in particular or just make comments on either of us.
Yeah. 19 was
any three of us.
19 was Elena. And
I had-
then 18 was
Here we go.
Look,
Look, we're not even a full.
it's in order.
I'm
It's
switching.
in
I'm
order.
switching the
It's in
subject.
order. The first one was Avon, and the second one was Zakia.
I need to stop this immediately, Zach. You need to. I'll give you like 2 hours. You can think of the rest of your second jurors. We've got to start talking about Americory. I almost said Cormerica again, because
it relates.
It does, and it also relates kind of. Actually, it doesn't relate at all to my next question. I'm going to ask y'all as we see Cormerica tonight, the false name dressed in the funeral blacks. So
I mean,
we see the fall of.
We're all dressed in black.
We are. Oh my god.
I mean, I'm
Look at us.
technically in gray, but okay.
Yes, Nick is definitely not in black, but for the sake of the audio only people, you would not believe Nick is in all black right now. A black suit. He's got the most exquisite bow tie, if I do say so myself.
Love it.
So yeah, y'all are missing out if you're audio only. But Americory, where do they go down in Big Brother lore in terms of showmances, do y'all think? Just to start off this conversation. We don't have to talk about their games yet, which we will. And if I have made timestamps in the future, if you're watching this, please, for the love of God, click ahead before you get too stuck in this Americory nonsense. But where do you think they sit in terms of Big Brother showmances and the love for showmances that this show has? And my love for showmances, because I do love them. Me and Nick love them.
Yes.
So I guess, Nick, you'll be a good person to really talk about, because Zach, I can already see he wants to counter whatever you're going to say.
No,
Yeah.
No, listen, here's what I was going to say before Nick says anything. They're honestly on the level of Brenchel. I can feel it.
What? Okay.
Because think about it.
Whoa.
Think about it. Brendan was like the solid, like, you know, he said, I mean, they didn't have the best games in 12, don't get me wrong, but Brendan was like the solid, like sturdy, firm foundation that Rachel needed. And America was, and then Rachel was like kind of messy, really said it how it is, and was pretty loud and like all up on her showmance and stuff. And I mean, America is kind of the same way. I mean, she literally told Jag to F off.
Yes, she did. Not only did she tell Jag to F off, she had the DR where she said F Jag separately, and then said also F Matt too. So America, I definitely enjoyed the energy that she brought to almost every conversation. And on top of that, I also thoroughly enjoyed the downfall of Americory, because that also brought a lot of entertainment to me. I know that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but I think that made this week so much more interesting to have them on the block and to have one of them go out. I think America made one of the worst moves I've seen in a while by telling Blue that all the information that she did about Matt and Jag, or that they're really targeting her, they shouldn't align with her. That feels like it always relates back to the past few weeks. It goes back to someone says something about the HOH or whoever's in power before the veto meeting happens. And Cory got away with it in Cam's HOH, but we didn't see Cameron get away with it in Bowie's HOH. And now we saw America and Cory not get away with it in Jag's Invisible HOH. But regardless of that move, America brought a great energy. Cory brought a great, like, aggravating energy, I thought, where it was like, I feel like he has all the tools And I feel like America has all the tools necessary. They just use them in the wrong ways. And I think a lot of that had to do with because they were always with each other and they were so short-sighted. And that's what Cory would probably say his biggest downfall is not paying attention to the game, being in a showmance since the beginning, which is the downfall of a lot of people's games when it comes to being in a showmance, I think. Obviously, you see the flip side of it. But I will view Americory as not a bad showmance, which I think is rare in Big Brother. I think we definitely have a lot more bad showmances than we have good ones. And the fact that we found a somewhat wholesome one to kind of just be like, oh, you know, they really aren't that bad. And they're actually not bad players either. A bad move this week led to a lot of their downfalls and some things that you wish they could do better. But overall, I like them. I think they're great characters on this season, and I will miss having the weird moments that they had at times that were like cringy, but in a good way, you know?
I agree. I just want to address the comment saying equal to Kyle and Alyssa. To me, wrong, incorrect. Because I was just going to say that they are like way better than Kyle and Alyssa.
Yeah, I think that's
exactly what I was
that's a
just
very
going to
hot
say.
take. I can get on
Well,
board.
Yeah,
definitely, he definitely lasts longer than Kyle. So,
okay, well then, I also wouldn't say that they're the same level of Brenchel, though. That's where I just kind of disagree. And
So we're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, coming from the Americory stan, I don't think that they are that high on the legend list.
Is this more are we seeing like a Jeff and Jordan in terms of how we felt about them in the moment? Are we seeing that kind of level? Are we nearing that level?
So as someone who watched
No.
BB11 live, I think yes, because why people liked Jeff and Jordan during BB11 was because how wholesome and genuine they were. And that's the same vibes that we get from Americory, like where they like genuinely just liked each other.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with like the game or like the show or the fame or any of that crap. Like they just really liked each other. And that was how Jeff and Jordan were on season 11.
And that's not how Brendan and Rachel were.
Did you watch season 12 live?
I watched season 12.
I got to tell you, Zach, the feelings that I had as a 12-year-old watching BB12 and the feelings that I had for Brenchel were nowhere near the feelings that I have for Americory watching them week to week. It was
okay. Well,
that's the hard couple to live up to.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. Okay, how about this? Relating to BB Can, do they kind of I didn't watch BB Can live feeds for BB Can 3, but don't they kind of remind Nick? Don't they kind of remind you of Kevin and Pilar?
I guess I never thought about that, but I guess I mean they got married, so. They just got divorced, though. So I don't know. If
I was about to say I thought I heard something different recently, but I didn't want to say because I'm not the Big Brother Canada person.
I don't know if we want to go all there.
Yeah,
but I guess that like they were a very genuine and wholesome couple on the show.
Kevin was like a gamer, and he didn't.
Comparison. Yeah, Kevin was like the more nerdy gamer, and Pilar was like the hot girl. That wasn't, but like America to me is also playing. Like I don't get like, I feel like people rip on her a lot on Twitter and everything, and I don't get the hate, but that's besides the point. I think that they were a very wholesome and great couple, and I honestly think that they're going to last outside the show.
They definitely. I mean, they're definitely making waves because they made Matt so jealous with his little showmance about
please.
If only we made it far. Or my showmance with whatever her name is, I forgot, who got evicted the second week of the game. Riley.
2 months ago, yeah.
Yeah. We would have been so much better. No, you wouldn't with your Andrew Tate loving self. No, you wouldn't have.
That's your headline for Matt is
Oh
his
my
Andrew Tate
God.
loving stuff, which I mean, yeah, tell him Matt needs to stop listening to Andrew Tate. But yeah, I think you sent that in our group text, and I was like, Matt really does know how to get a fan base to be like, Matt, and then immediately go, Matt. So he's really good at doing that, it seems like. So we'll see if in like a couple weeks we're back to Matt. Before we crown him the $750,000 winner of Big Brother.
Do not jinx us again.
That's happening regardless of if we say Matt or not.
Yeah,
like
true.
in my opinion.
One very important thing that we need to talk about to also bring up Americory, which we will bring up 50,000 times in this podcast, but I will get it out of the way now. Did Cory say "I love you" to America on his way out the door?
Do you have the video?
I do. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I was gonna have a dramatic pause there or not. But yeah, here we go. I hope y'all are able to hear that.
I think he definitely did.
You can kind of whisper right there.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He said, "Love you."
Yeah, that was a perfect impression.
Wait, you're not gonna keep on playing it?
No, I just wanted to pause it on them kissing, and then I thought we would talk about them more.
I kind of like the shit.
That was pretty good.
Oh my God, Felicia's laugh is so good. I love it.
But to wrap up the talk of Americory as a couple, yeah, I do think they were a better showmans to watch this season. I think America is still a rootable player. I don't know if she's like the person. I mean, obviously, I think we all have the same person that we would like to see win at this point. I think most of the fan base does, or at least the live feed watchers and the non-casuals. I'm sure a lot of people are rooting for Matt that are a casual, but I think every feed watcher is just like, God, if Sari somehow gets to this final two, what an insane story that would be. And not quite the story of just like she overcame like a bunch of like being on the block a bunch of times, but the fact that she loses all of her allies and then just quietly gets to final two still while perfectly being in the DR. Like, I'm just waiting on the war to start. And then the war starts and she's like, told you. And now she's still so good with the people who are at the head of this war that it's like, I don't want to jinx her either, but I'm very excited to see what Sari can do. But also America is a rootable player. I just have zero confidence that she could win in the end, being up against most of the people that are left. I think most of the people that are left, which I mean, we don't have to rehash our final two scenarios over and over again, but because I honestly don't remember what we said for America in a few of them. But I think it was that same sentiment that she lost to most people.
I mean, if she's up next to Blue.
Yeah, that's their best bet, Blue or Bowie.
Especially with those DRs that Blue is leaving people. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Blue doesn't know what jury management is. She doesn't really know what Big Brother is. She also doesn't know what jury management is, clearly. But you know, Blue, keep going. It's gotten you this far. So I mean, if ratting out every single person that ever talks to you, it gets you to at least being the third juror in a season, then I can't really dog her for it. But at the same time, I think people aren't using her for her Big Brother prowess at the same time in that game, unfortunately for Blue.
Kitty purr.
Kitty purr indeed. And with that, we will transition to gosh, I think I said I wanted to talk about this week first, and then we can talk about Bowie Jane and the Zings and Otev and all of that. So I'm going to stick to that. I'm really sorry, but it's the most interesting thing to me at the moment. I will for sure timestamp when we talk about Bowie Jane's week and her HOH reign and Cameron's eviction. I will timestamp that. So if you want to go watch that first and come back, that's perfectly fine. But I really want to talk about tonight's eviction and just this week in general, because that's the fresh thing on my mind. So we'll do this pyramid style and do the most recent information first. Okay. Invisible HOH week. We have
wasn't so invisible.
Not so invisible indeed. And we kept up this charade all up until Jag's vote tonight, where I did enjoy Jag going into the DR though and be like, I nominated half the house. Great week. See you later. I did really enjoy that aspect of it. But at the same time, man, the producers got to learn that a secret HOH is not going to be a secret HOH in the way that they want it to be. Or they at least need to have some incentives of just like, if you reveal yourself as the HOH, you can't play. Like if you tell someone, if we watch you on the live feeds, actually tell someone you are the invisible HOH, you're not playing in the next HOH competition. So there needs to be some precedent about that because it's key. I mean, it happened with Claire too. Invisible HOH, not really at all. Everybody knew she was the invisible HOH. And have we had other invisible HOHs other than Claire?
Victoria in BB Can, but you didn't watch.
Yeah, I don't know that.
BB Can.
Did it work out? Did she keep it a secret?
To my recollection, I believe she did.
Okay, that's good at least.
Because I remember she like made a really huge move the week when she was the invisible HOH, and like everybody was shook. And I'm pretty sure she like kept it hidden for that, but I don't remember 100%.
Okay, yeah, Jag. We're not sitting here every week being like, Jag, oh my God, this guy, he knows how to play the game. He's already been evicted. He's been evicted 10-0 in this game already. He is not the greatest player by any stretch of the imagination. He has a confidant that is pretty good at this game. But it seems like they still can't get it right together because Jag, I mean, nominated half the house, like you said tonight, told pretty much everyone that he was the invisible HOH, and still decided to do a big blindside for 2 people. Like that is not the way to run an HOH. And it was fun for us because we got to watch the blindside happen in real time, and a genuine blindside happen to some degree. But at the same time, Jag completely flopped as an HOH this week, invisible or not, he was very visible. I want to get y'all's take on it though before we kind of go into the details. What did you think of Jag as the invisible HOH?
Like you said, there needs to be some kind of incentive because we knew automatically, especially in this house, because nobody can keep a damn secret to save their life, and that is Jag highlighted times a million. I like your idea, like him not being able to play in the next HOH, because I swear on my life, if he wins this HOH competition, I am going to be so pissed. I will be calling CBS. I will be down. I will fly. I will literally drive to LA and knock on Julie Chen's door and ask her what the hell is she doing. I know she's not in charge of any of it, but she's the host. Like, get your stuff together.
She wouldn't know what you're talking about. I hate to break it to you.
She would not understand a word of that.
First off, she'd be like, "Oh, my chin."
What?
Julie's chin.
Yeah, I get it, but like I don't. I get. Yeah, I mean, we made the same pun for like 2 years on this podcast.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's kind of the name. But whatever. Jag. But yeah, I agree. We need to change the invisible HOH or just never do it again. I mean, we could also just have that, never touch that ever again. Same with the 2 vetoes, kind of cool, but this late in the game, I'm not as into it. I'm always like that with twists. Once you get past jury, it's like it feels like every twist just tanks the game a little too much. And I know Cory said that, which I mean, of course, Cory is going to say that this week. He was literally calling it a trash twist on the feeds and stuff, saying it's fun. This game's pretty mid. Not gonna lie, but yeah, we need to change these twists once we get into jury, which we say every year, and it doesn't change anything about that. But
final 7? No, wait, final 8. And they're putting in this.
Yeah. Not cool. But I will say, I did enjoy some of the comics from this week. I won't lie. And I want to talk about them. I do want to also bring up the fact that there was just a Fortress of Solitude, like mini, a mini version of a Fortress of Solitude that was just in the HOH at the end of last week's eviction episode, which I just thought was the most chaotic way to end an episode of live TV, which they kept calling it a curious, cute crystal. What was it? I think I had it written down. The curious cosmic crystal is what they were calling it, which I found to be fascinating. A great use of alliteration. Zach, are you a fan of the I've already forgotten it, curious cosmic crystal?
It made no sense.
No, it did not.
I was just like, I mean, they did it. And then we only saw it once, or we never saw it again.
Yeah, they just kind of placed it in the middle of the HOH room, and they were like, "All right," they took it
like,
back out.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Bowie, you're so messy."
And Blue is like, "Is this kryptonite? I love kryptonite." I'm like, "What does that mean? You can love kryptonite?"
Yeah, you love the elements.
If I'm being honest with y'all, I completely forgot about that until right this second when you brought it up, because
they used it at the beginning of every episode. Is the thing though? They were like, "A curious cosmic crystal has entered the big."
But it did nothing.
No, it didn't. It kicked off comic verse week. I think it was their thing.
Woo!
You should be wooed. That's a big deal. You don't mess with comic week. Speaking of, though, we had BB Comics as the HOH comp, where we got fun little superhero animations for everyone. And I think Felicia was first, and hers was actually kind of badass. Not gonna lie. If this video will play, I think hers was first. But they had the little animated, like they did the poses and stuff before they started the competition.
Oh, I love that actually.
I completely messed this up, but I'll find it in a second.
Yeah,
gotta love X.com.
Yeah. What did y'all think of switching up? Of course, we had OTEV as the HOH comp last week. Or no, we had Zingbot in OTEV last week in the Scrambleverse. But now we have another bit of Scramble having the comic HOH, or having our comic veto competition be our HOH competition. They're scrambling my brain, as you can hear. How do we feel about that switch? And overall, how do we feel about having a physical competition, and then for that first veto, immediately having another physical competition? Just rounding out kind of this, I feel, overall feeling in the fan base of, oh, so Matt and Jag are just going to win until the end. Can y'all cool any of the fans' worries that is going to happen?
I think that it's, obviously a strong possibility, but I do think that there is competitions that other people who aren't good at physical stuff can win. I mean, Blue did just win that veto, and like, let's be real, like, has she done well in physical competitions? Not really.
She did okay in that first veto.
Actually, she did do good in the endurance.
She is good at endurance. She has proved
she is good at endurance. Yes, I will agree with you there. I do think that, like, they do other competitions, like they do like what the bleep. Like, I don't remember what it was, but I remember Taylor won a competition at the end that for an HOH that was a questions-based comp. Like, they do a lot of other ones that are mental. So I don't think that everything is going to be physical. I do think that there is too much that are physical, though, and that is the problem.
Yeah.
So
I will say, because I remember the statistic that I saw. Statistically speaking, BB Comics has been played 10 times, I believe, and five women have won and 5 men have won.
Interesting. Okay.
And Nicole Franzel has won it twice. So
disgusting.
Yeah. On season 16, she won it twice. That's crazy. I can't believe she won it twice on season 16. It didn't play again. I found Felicia's little edit, which just looks cracked when I pull it up from Twitter like this. But yeah, I obviously am always going to be innately fearful for any physical comp to be the thing that ends a season's run. which seems to be the case a lot of times. So hopefully it's not the case this season, where it's just like, I really want to give Suri and Felicia a chance to win this game. And I am so worried that the producers are just not going to give them that chance, because they're going to keep doing competitions that they just realistically are never going to win over Jack or Matt, or literally anybody that is 20 years younger than them, which is at this point most of the house. So yeah, I just always worry about that, because I want to end this season being like, yes, this person deserved the win, not thinking like, if they had thrown maybe a competition that wasn't completely catered for every 20 something in the house, and that's the only reason that they won. So that's just my one hope. Will it happen? Probably not. But BB Comics. Let's talk about the comics, because there were some interesting ones, and I think I have it around here. All the
I know my favorite.
Okay,
actually, there's two favorites.
Okay, so let's go through this list. I pulled it up if you're watching or you're listening audio only. So we have Cameron as Predator, which is holy shit.
Oh my god.
That's one of the favorites.
2 on point.
Albacory, Muffin Hands for Jared. We have Haha Heisem, which I think that is my favorite. You have to just appreciate Heisem's laugh though for that one. We got Robot for Suri, did her dirty there. Kitty Purr for Blue, almost too fitting. You got to put it there. Me Calamity with her tearing a skyscraper apart. Interesting choice, but okay. Disaster. I forget what the tagline is there. Disaster waiting to happen. Okay, McCall. They kind of had a dig at her for no reason. Cockadoodle Zoom, which we heard a few times this week. Oh, the Nash villain for Riley. Pooltergeist for Matt. Not bad. The Chill Billy. I mean, they didn't even try for Red. That was already what he was called. Kirsten, I guess.
I don't know why.
They didn't try with her either. That's literally just her name.
Nightmarica, which is, I really enjoyed that one. It's just her hovering over Cory while he's sleeping. Kayak Attack for Felicia, and then we have Dizzy Izzy and Bowie Ring. She's a boomerang. It's a boomerang with Bowie's face on it. Bowie Ring.
But no, the best part is that it's literally Animorphs, like where she's literally turning.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's such a good point. I want to see if I could just find a still of Bowie Ring. I think I still go with Haha Heisem as kind of my favorite, but Bowie Ring and Cameron as Predator and Nightmare are probably around my top 4. Right. All the corner ones, I think, are my favorites. Zach,
yeah, those are the best ones.
I get, the Bowie Ring is probably my favorite. The Predator is just so on point. Like, honestly, you have to give it to the Predator because, it's just too real.
They went there with that one. Like,
I love how you just out of context said, honestly, I got to give it to the Predator.
What's it called? The duality of that statement.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that they were gonna do like, especially with the Scramble verse. I thought that since they were shaking it up, like they've been shaking up the games and stuff, I thought eventually we were going to do like a backwards week where they would do Noms, Veto, and then HOH.
Oh, I see what you mean. They could still do that technically. If they have one more Scramble verse in them, they could definitely try to do that. And I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they did attempt to do that at like something ridiculous, like a Final 6 or something.
Yeah.
Which we're only 1 week away from that, or 2 weeks away from that anyway. So
1 week.
1 week. Oh yeah, because we will have 6
double
at the end of next week. That's right. Or we'll have 5. No, we'll have 6.
No, we'll have 5.
We'll have 5?
No.
Oh my god, why am I not doing math? Like Blue says, the math ain't mathin'.
Yeah.
Only Blue says that, by the way.
I thought that Nicole says that.
No. It's just Blue. Nobody else has ever said that, I don't think.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. We have we got our Curious Cosmic Crystal. We've got our BB Comics, which we just went through. Jag was the secret winner with a time of 8 minutes and 30 seconds. They only revealed the winning time, and that was all they had to go off of as they were kind of trying to figure out who might be the secret winner. They all thought that was Blue at first, the main group of Americory and Matt, or just Matt, really, because Jag was the Invisible HOH. What did you think of the episode's choice to not reveal who the HOH actually was until closer to the end of the episode? We kind of had a good 10-15 minutes of game talk, where we didn't actually know who the HOH was if you're just a casual fan. Do you think that was that a fun experience? Did anybody watching right now watch not knowing who the HOH was? I doubt it, but if you did, I would love to know. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy not knowing? But did either of y'all think that was an interesting element, or did you just not care because you already knew who it was?
Honestly, I didn't even realize, I guess, because I had known who the HOH was, so I was just like, oh, Jag won, but they don't know, and I just didn't realize that the episode never actually showed it. So
I could see that it easily could skate by, because it really wasn't. It was only about 10 minutes before they revealed it, but we saw the initial conversations with Americory and Matt and Jag, and they were kind of all discussing.
Right.
No one, and I had to backtrack. I was like, did they say that Jag won?
Yeah.
I went back and looked at after he finished the competition. I was like, oh no, they're waiting on this. And then they had the big reveal of him in the DR, and he danced for way too long. The DR being like cock-a-doodle zoom, baby. And I thought it was interesting, but maybe it was really cool for casual fans. I didn't know. I don't want to speak for them out there.
It's just annoying. It was like, it's like they were playing Among Us, and they're like, "Oh, we're the trader show now. Who's who?" And I'm like, "Calm down. Like, y'all aren't as interesting as the traders. Like, stop." It was just grating. It was just grating my nerves, and it was just making me think really hard about Blue. Why are you trusting him if he didn't reveal that he was the HOH at the beginning of the week to you?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Why is the question I usually ask when I watch most people play this game. Especially I would do the same thing though. Don't worry, everyone out there. I do want to mention before I completely forget. Aris said, I think Mikol's comic was supposed to reference her calling out Cory and Bowie in America on her way out. I don't know. That's right, because I think Cory did have a DR when he was doing his part of the competition where he mentioned that, and it kind of echoed Mikol's last thing before she was going out the door. Yes, that's a good point.
Yes.
Oh my God. We'll get
to
it later, but she was also mentioned in
Zingbot. Her Zing was the best. She won. She was not in the house when that Zing happened, but she won the Zing.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. So we have Jag as the Invisible HOH. We wait to get that reveal on the episode. I mean, when you have a physical competition and you have time-based competitions and you reveal that time, obviously, you're in that house, it can only be a mix of a couple of people.
Nicole Franzel.
Yes, it can only be Nicole Franzel. But I enjoyed this episode specifically when so we have, Felicia kind of putting the pieces together with Sari. That was a fun element of this week, I thought. I think their relationship has kind of mended a bit. Now that they're kind of, I'm not going to say on an island because they're not necessarily on an island together. And I don't want to say for other reasons too. They did say it on tonight's episode, by the way.
They said it in the past few episodes.
They
what
said
the hell?
I noticed in tonight's episode, Cory and Blue were talking and Blue said not on an island or whatever. And I forgot to log it, but now I remember she did say that.
And they said in the episode before, and they said in the episode before, we get it. Someone who played Survivor is in the house.
But the thing is, Blue said it not knowing that it was actually going to be in the episode. It wasn't like the narrator or anything. It was just Blue saying it to say it as Blue and not trying to get anything out of it.
What is wrong with these people? Oh my gosh, we get it. Suri played seasons of Survivor. Okay.
She did. We have to, but people could forget, you know? People could forget that people played Big Brother and The Challenge and The Amazing Race and Survivor. That's why we have to make all these shows to put them on there so people can remember that they played those other games.
Barrett.
And then they have to reference it 50,000 times while on these new shows.
Barrett, what if I told you there was a secret relationship?
No. Do tell. The house? Tell me more.
If you just look on the screen.
Oh my God. Are you telling me that Jared Fields and Suri Fields are mother and son?
No. What I'm saying is that Cameron and America are father-daughter.
Stop with this mess. We're done.
Enough.
Cancel the show. It's over. What was I talking about? Felicia. Yes. We have Felicia and Blue nominated at the end of Sunday's episode. We have a great moment that I wanted to talk about where Felicia walks up to Jag and Cory, who are sitting on the hammock after nominations. And she goes to Cory and says, so who's the real target between me and Blue? And Cory talked to Felicia the same way that he avoided Felicia and Mikkel after the big blow up a couple weeks prior, which is just not wanting to engage at all, which is so funny to me when he does this, because he's usually so for wanting to get into an argument, but when he is uncomfortable, boy, is he uncomfortable. So he's just like, Felicia, I'm not the HOH. I don't know. And so Felicia takes this conversation and also is watching Jag the entire time. And after all of that, goes to the DR and says, I'm talking to Cory. And he's, saying all the things that he usually says when he's not lying. But I'm watching Jag the entire time, and he's not looking at me once. So he's got to be the HOH. And I thought that was so great. Felicia has a mind that I am like envious of. The way that she clocked that so quickly, which I mean, given you're in a house of 8 people, there's only so many that can win a competition like that between the pool of like 4 of them, and maybe 5 of them if you want to count Blue in that group, which I mean probably you should. And the fact that she, so I mean to say that it was Jag is not like a crazy thing, but for her to say it in the moment after not even talking to Jag and grilling him about all of this was just great. And it makes me appreciate Felicia so much more every time she does stuff like that. Every time she's in the DR, I appreciate Felicia more. And especially this week, she's up on the block for the 5th time up on the block. And she said in her DR, y'all been effing with me the whole damn season. Which is so true. Why do we keep going for Felicia? Do we keep going for Felicia? Does this turn into a thing where we nominate Felicia until she eventually just ends up in the final 2? Or what? Because I would like that to happen. But it was so much fun to watch her this week. Did y'all enjoy Felicia this week, or do y'all enjoy Felicia in general? I can't really remember. Do y'all like Felicia?
I always love Felicia like that. I'm obsessed. Like, you have no idea. Like, she is literally TV gold to me. And I think like I said this 20 times on this podcast, whoever casts her deserves a raise, because she is what we need on these shows. I loved her little rant too about how young people don't know how to play, or whatever the hell she was saying. I thought that was like iconic and very on the money. And yeah, I just think that she is very smart. She's very underrated, and like people in the house don't like. If I was on the jury, I would vote for Felicia to win over a lot of the people in the game, because to me, Felicia has a way better story than a lot of the people in the game. She's been nominated, like you said, 5 times. She's almost gone home twice too, because 2 of those votes, it was like supposed to be her, and then they flipped. And like she's won an HOH. She's the only woman to win an HOH other than Bowie. So it's like she's doing her thing, and I just think she's great TV on top of all that. And so I'm really rooting for her. I love her to death. So Felicia, I want to see Felicia on everything. I want to see Felicia on The Amazing Race. I hope that she
Felicia on
has
the
a long
challenge. Felicia on the Bachelor.
You know what? Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me
Felicia on Love Island.
Give it to
Felicia
me.
on Love Island.
I'll watch it.
Golden
Felicia
Love
on
Island.
Buddy Games.
I'll watch it. That's how CBS gets me to watch Buddy Games. Put Felicia on it, and I'll watch it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's a great idea. Put
Felicia on
Felicia
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. She starts going into Paramount Plus original production.
Felicia on Bold and the Beautiful.
I would tune in.
She could be on every episode of Bold and the Beautiful. Are you kidding me? Zach, I'll have you talk about her more, but before I forget, I will play this.
Oh, this was so good too.
This was in the midst of the hammock talk, or right afterwards. It's more of a Cory thing, but I'll play it anyway.
Okay, let me go eat my lasagna.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Felicia's not wrong. With the Invisible HOH, this was Jag's moment to put up me in America, get me out of this house.
That turned out well. Anyway, Zach, thoughts on Felicia?
She's so real. I mean, she's
real. Yes.
She's like the voice of the audience. If only. Now, if only she was able to get her strategy better,
of course,
then she'd be perfect. But unfortunately, she's taking Jared's spot and undoing a lot of what Suri is trying to do. I still love her. I can still love her as a character. She is entertainment gold. Whoever casted her, I mean, A+. And I mean, she has great one-liners, everything like that. It's just, she's good TV. My bestie ain't my bestie.
Yeah, I think we'll all be saying Felicia lines in our head, just like subconsciously, as reactions to things that happen in our lives for many years. So
you never want to do it.
Today is what always gets me. Is that like whenever I hear someone say the word today, that's all I think about. But yes, Felicia, always and forever.
I want her and Rennie on a season together.
Yeah, is Felicia the closest person we've had to Rennie since Rennie, you think?
We just need her.
I think so.
Someone needs to ask her about time zones.
Man, we have the first showmans, or the closest showmans to Jeff and Jordan since Jeff and Jordan. We have the closest person to Rennie since Rennie on this season. Is this a good season? Do we like this? Is this a good one?
Yeah.
Depends on who wins.
I kind of like this one. Yeah, it does depend on who wins. Will
true.
Greatly impact how we view this season. But I gotta say, I kind of like it. People make some dumb decisions, but you know what? That's the game every year. And if they're entertaining dumb decisions, so be it. You know, have a way. I would love to talk about those every week, which we do, and we are. So Sunday, let me see if there's anything else that I really wanted to talk about.
The guessing game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to talk about the veto competition. I loved logging all of the quotes that I knew were just completely incorrect by the time they were aired. It's like you have Jag in Wednesday's episode saying, I'm not telling, or Tuesdays, sorry. Really got to get on this new schedule, saying, I'm not telling Blue I am the Invisible HOH this week. That is a verbatim quote from Jag in the DR on Tuesday's episode. Blue clocking that Jag is the only person who can get 8 minutes and 30 seconds in the BB Comics competition, which is like, not really. Matt also exists. But you were right. Like the way what I saw on Reddit today, because someone was asking about Blue's gameplay, and and they were just baffled by everything that Blue is in Big Brother 25. And someone said, well, I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, just referring to how she keeps fumbling herself into these good situations. Specifically with ratting out America this week was somehow the perfect thing for her to do. She won the veto anyway, but she would have been saved regardless, I think, since she ratted her out. So it's like, yeah, I guess she can be right sometimes. Sometimes she can really dig herself into a hole, which I think she's going to, and really already has in a lot of ways, to the point where she doesn't have true loyalty to really anybody, which is what makes her so perplexing. It's like she has no loyalty to anyone, yet she is still in this game. Where it is different from Mikol, because Mikol was, I'm not loyal to anyone, but I don't really talk about anyone. Blue is, I'm not loyal to anyone, but I talk about everybody all the time. And nobody is my friend. And that, like, nothing that you reveal to me is not going to be immediately revealed to someone else.
Her and Raven would have been best friends.
Oh
boy.
That's tough to say.
I mean, because Raven was right about some things. Like, Paul was a good cook.
Yeah, you make a good point there. But then I also saw someone say Blue must be on military time then, which I thought was a step too far, everybody.
Whoa. I mean,
they said it, not me, I guess. Hey, she's the one making money on Big Brother. I'm not,
That's true.
But yeah, I thought it was really funny just to hear not only all of those comments from Jag being like, I'm not telling anyone I'm the Invisible HOH. Meanwhile, we all know live in the real world that he has told everyone that he's the Invisible HOH. And then all the Cory and America DRs where they're like, I should feel worried this week, but I feel so great about Matt and Jag. I can't believe they're not targeting us. It's crazy. And what's even crazier is at the beginning of the week, he wasn't even targeting them. In fact, he had put up Felicia and his best friend in the house, which Cory said in the DR, that's hilarious, because it is. That's hilarious that he put up his friend and was actually going to target her. And that Matt was going to let him do this. I mean, that's just wild to me that that's how this week was at first. He ended up in the right spot, but when you end up in the right spot after a week of already putting two other people on the block, you kind of also dig yourself into quite a hole there.
This is why I say Jag's playing an awful, awful game.
But God, don't you like him?
He really got so lucky. He got so lucky that there was a double veto this week. Because I feel like even if there was only one veto, I guess we're sticking with the same one. Jag has the veto. He might take down Blue and puts up either Cory, or he probably put up Cory.
Yeah,
that's still a close vote. I feel
it could be. You have Bowie, who probably wouldn't care, who probably wouldn't mind voting out Felicia. You have Blue, who would be all for voting out Cory. You probably have Sari, who's going to vote out Cory as well. It still ends up being Cory, but I see what you mean. Like, it would have been a more interesting campaign, I think, for Cory to stay in the house that way. Just because, I mean, I didn't think he had a bad campaign just going into tonight's eviction. I thought he did a really good job at first, putting on his pink suit, which we didn't get to really see. I'm sure if they had another day to edit, they would have probably put in a whole montage of him dressing up into his pink suit and then going to campaign to everybody. But we didn't get that. And so, but I thought he did make a good pitch of just, I am going to target Matt and Jag. So that's my pitch.
Whoa. Barrett.
What?
Just stop. Just stop the campaigning.
You're right.
Like, why are we doing this? Just stop.
You have a good point.
In a game where you're supposed to campaign.
Yeah. Don't talk game with camp comeback.
But wait, why, Barrett? Why aren't you talking to me? Why aren't you campaigning to me?
Oh God.
You know I'm voting, right?
Yes, I know you're voting, Zach.
Barrett, stop. I told
Just
you.
stop.
Stop campaigning to me.
God. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. But Cory did a good job up until he tried to make Bowie think that Jag was targeting her next week. And then all hell kind of broke loose for a bit when Bowie started crying in the backyard. So that kind of ruined his pitch just a tad bit. But I thought he did a really good job at first and probably as good as he could have done. But then again, when you're Cory, sometimes there's only so much you can do before people vote you out. But I will ask you all, do you think that everyone that is not Matt and Jag made the right decision by evicting Cory?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's kind of hard to tell because I feel like I feel like people online crap on America for being like bad at competitions, but I feel like she's not that bad at competitions, and I feel like she's not that bad of a player. I just think that Cory was more so of like the face of their showmance because he won. What did he win?
He just won an HOH.
Right. So he's won the comp and she hasn't won anything. So I guess that it like makes him more of like the target of the two.
Yeah.
But
people forget she came second place in the pressure cooker. She made it further than Jared. She made it further than Jag.
Everyone in the cast made it further than Jared. So
I should say America did win the first competition of the season technically in that puzzle comp.
And put Jared on the block.
Yeah, Jared got last place in that puzzle comp. Yeah.
So I want all the America haters. I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe that's a word coming out of my mouth. But all the America haters need to stop. There have been worse
I will say
people.
the Americory stands on Twitter, they're crazy. And they will find you if you hate on America. Like I've seen it. But
yeah.
There's either like really intense love for her on Twitter or really intense hate for her on Twitter, and there's like no in between. And it's kind of interesting to me because I feel like she's not that polarizing of like a person, but
I think she's a very entertaining player. I don't know how you I don't know how you view her as polarizing in any way. Like I get that she shows like a lot of energy towards everything. Like but then again, that's what you want in a player. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, probably every player who has a great amount of fans in Big Brother also has a great amount of enemies for whatever reason, because people love to do that.
America is Big Brother's Taylor Swift.
I don't like that.
I don't like that comparison at all because I don't know how to like argue that. Exactly.
There are people who really like her, and then there are people who really hate her.
That's a lot of things, though. It's not only Taylor Swift. I mean, I don't. Okay, yeah, you're right, Zach. America is the Taylor Swift of this season. I get it. I understand it fully now. I have no further questions.
Oh my gosh, our viewers just went up just because I said Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Well, now it brings on my next guest. Zach, what if I told you that there was a secret fourth person that was going to be on this podcast? I don't actually have anybody. Yeah. I'll clip this and send it to Ethan. Ethan, Zach really wants you on this show. I have never said it. We never said it live. So if we could make that happen, that would be great. I also want you on the show. That would be a fun time. So great. Now he gets to see this. So yeah, America is Taylor Swift. I guess that's what we're sticking with. Weird.
I don't like that so, but okay. Whatever. Let's make Zack right. Like
Tuesday's episode, we get America telling Blue, of course, that Matt and Jag are targeting her. The move that sealed her and Cory's fate for the week, unbeknownst to her. A bad move. Just a bad move that America knows was a bad move. Cory knows it was a bad move. He knows it killed his game. Does he care? It didn't sound like it tonight. But I gotta say that handed this week on a silver platter to them. The fact that they should have both been on the block from the start and they weren't, not knowing that 2 vetoes are going to be used, they should have just taken that victory. They didn't know that the 2 vetoes are going to be used, but not knowing yet that there would be 2 vetoes, they should have just taken that victory for what it was and not done too much of anything. And that's really what Cory was doing for the most part. It seemed like America, on the other hand, not so much. Just, I don't know. A general tip, just don't talk shit about, or at least bring up the HOH's name before a veto ceremony where that person that is the HOH also has a veto. And not only that, there are 2 vetoes. And you're saying this and whatever. It's just never say this stuff before a veto ceremony, even if you don't know who the veto winners are yet, which in America's case. God, what a bad move. I hate that she did that because I truly think that this could have been viewed as like Matt and Jag's downfall by keeping Cory and America in the game. And now it is not that way. And not only that, you get Jag that's able to compete in this HOH too, which is just absurd, which is why we're polling for America.
Confirmed, or are we just like speculating that?
No, he's in. He's playing.
They confirmed that?
Yeah.
Jag is playing? Yeah. Yeah. When he was reading his own invisible HOH rules to everybody, I forgot to mention that. He was the one that read the rules about the invisible HOH to everybody before winning the invisible HOH.
I didn't even think that either, but you're right.
Big Brother is scripted.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, he gets to compete today. And if he wins again, I mean, it wouldn't shock me at this point after we had a month of Jared and Cameron, but I just don't. I that would be terrible for this season if Jag won yet again and just targets America and takes her out. I don't like it. I don't know why I'm just now seeing that Caitlin said Americory is her Brinchel, so we do have that comparison. Caitlin says I get that comparison to Brinchel. I don't know in what way you mean that though. If like, were you a fan of Brinchel? Were you not a fan of Brinchel? I feel like that has a lot to do with this, and I need.
That's true, actually.
Hey, there are people who really like Americory, and then there are people who really don't like them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Zach's right. Ooh, you happy?
Who would have thought?
So speaking of being right, were you gonna bring up the veto?
Yes, we're gonna talk about the veto now. First veto that we had was another bit of a scramble where we had, I forget what the title, I didn't write down the title of the competition, but it's the stand on the rope, the swing, whatever you want to call it, on the platform and swing around in a circle.
Take flight.
Time to take flight. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. That was technically the one that Blue won. The one that Jag won was Superhero Training Academy.
Oh, okay.
on the Desperate Housewives set.
Yes, I saw someone mention the Desperate Housewives set. Yes, we are still in the land of not a lot of productions happening as of yet, so we get to take advantage of other CBS lots. So yes, we went outside for this one, not in the Big Brother backyard. That's got to feel so good for them though, to not be in that house and be able to actually go somewhere. I can't even imagine how good that feels for them. Now it's we're about an hour and 10 minutes away from day 80. God, that's crazy. But yes, we see Jag. It comes down to Jag and Blue, where Jag comes out on top after a whopping 2 hours and some odd minutes, a record breaker of a competition, which was nice to see. Very surprising to see in this competition. But then again, when you're outside of the Big Brother house on a different part of the CBS lot, you got to take advantage. You don't want to go back to that house. The longer you're on that rope, the more time you're not stuck in solitary confinement almost, which I guess Felicia actually was in solitary confinement this week. But for the most part, they're in some form of solitary confinement every other day.
Also, another reason why Blue should have gotten the hint that Jag did not want her best interest at heart.
Yes, in which she had a whole DR about, of going through the motions of, Jag's not dropping, but I hope that just me. Let me see. I liked this DR session, so let me see what she said, or maybe I didn't, but it was something to the effect of like, Jag just wants like the confidence booster or whatever. I trust him, and then she just fell, which is not a good reason to fall at all. You look at that immediately and think, oh, I'm on the block. Jag seems like someone who would win that HOH competition, and if he's not the guy that wins that HOH competition, Matt probably is. So, and they're working together. So if they're working together and I'm on the block, then that must mean that I might be the target. And now Jag's also staying in this competition. All of these things lead me to think I should fall right about now. And then we get Jag as the veto winner.
I will say that little guessing. So, I was looking at the rules and I was doing the math. So Jag would get $500 for every 15 seconds that he was on that rope. So technically speaking, if he would have stayed on for 6.25 hours, then he would have won $750,000.
Can you imagine if there was like some loophole that he accidentally found that kept him, like he somehow like found a way to like keep his hand like strapped to the pole or something, like the way that he would not fall, and he just kept going and broke the game that way? That would have been probably the most iconic thing I've ever seen. Like, it would have ended the show. Jag sitting up there just doing this for 6 hours.
Fred actually gets out and be like, Jag, you need to drop. Like,
please,
you have to drop. You're taking the whole prize money.
You're taking away the rent house money for the jury house.
We pay so much money for this. We don't have any money anymore. No. Yeah. That would have been great. In my
someone wins the season, and then they're like, "So you don't get any prize money because Jag won it all."
This guy who got evicted 10-0 like a month and a half ago just won $750,000. That's weird, and he didn't even win Big Brother. Yeah. I do have one thing that I made sure to like from this competition. Which was when America dropped and her reasoning for it, which just goes to, it adds on the pile of just Cory and America comments that don't age well at all.
You guys are doing good. Don't move too much, Jag.
I'm looking around and Jag and Blue look so sturdy. Do I really need to win this?
Yes.
Probably not. I trust that Jag will not put me or Cory up, so I'm thinking that it's time for me to let go.
No!
Her landing right there and that little splat sound effect just made me remember something about the HOH competition that I hated, which was like the weird crackle sound effect that they would make whenever they would hit the ground in the BB Comics comp. It sounded like bones breaking, and I didn't appreciate it. But didn't like it at all.
I know what you're talking about.
It was like that. And
yes.
It ranked ahead of Kyle's little squishy sound effect that they had last year while he was in the mirror.
Oh my god, you just unlocked something from my memory.
I've been rewatching BB24, so I had to watch it again recently, and I'd forgotten all about that monstrosity of a segment.
Never. Oh
Thank
my
you,
god,
Zack.
I
You
literally
brought it back.
I'm getting chills. That was disgusting.
Zack, you're giving them chills. Stop. Okay. Yes, after the first veto competition, we have the guessing competition that we've already gone over in our revisionist history, where Blue was able to guess the closest amount of time for Jag to hang on the rope to take flight, for Jag to take flight. She predicted that Jag would fly for 105 seconds, 105.69 seconds, I should be more specific, which... Blue, that was a really good guess, actually. I really appreciate that you did that. And was the beholder of the second power of veto. But like we said, I know I just played America dropping out of the competition. Even if I'm thinking correctly, I'm say America wins this competition, she would be the second person to use the veto, correct? Because Jag was the second. Yeah. So let's say Blue was the winner. She would take herself off. Even if Jag makes the move, he can't do anything about it because America would just take Cory off. So technically, yeah, if America had just won, at first I was thinking even if she won this competition, nothing would have really changed. Cory still could have gone home, but that's not actually the case. Cory would have been safe if she had won this competition. So, yeah. Big if still, though. You still got to beat Jag. You got to go 2+ hours and all that. But something to think about if you are an America fan, if you want to not sleep tonight.
It's because she didn't have her arms wrapped around the rope.
Yeah, that was Jack's strategy at first. I forgot about that. Yeah, he said when trying to grab the rope, just trying to hug it.
Or just go one leg like Tyler did.
Yeah,
you still win HOH apparently, or you still win the game apparently.
Yeah,
even though it's cheating.
I feel like, because I'm thinking, like, what if it's like if that situation did happen, like if Jag and America were the veto holders, do you think he would have left Blue up there, or do you think he would have like went after Saray?
I think in that case Blue just stays up. Well, no, because Blue wins the we're staying in the scenario that Blue wins the second veto. Sorry. So Blue takes herself off the block. And I guess Saray would have to be the renom. Because I don't know if Jag would have put up Bowie, but then again, he was already toying with putting up Bowie at the beginning of the week. So
and he would I think Matt would have talked him into putting up Bowie.
Okay. So we see Felicia and Bowie on the block, and then Felicia finally goes home. We think that's how it ends up.
Or maybe they send Bowie home because she made a big move and took out Cam.
She did, yeah. Yeah, took out Cam for the second time. Yeah, I don't want to live in either of those scenarios really, but then again,
me neither.
I think Cory going, I can live with that, meaning Felicia stays and we still have America in the house. I think I can be okay with that, but that is frustrating if you're an America fan to think that if she would have won that competition, for sure, both of them are still in the game, even with that second veto in play.
Going by your logic, you usually like the last person out of the showmance that stays.
I do, yeah. I always enjoy a showmance when they're finally broken up. I mean, this is a showmance that I still enjoyed while they were both in the game, but yeah, especially in the case where I don't like the showmance, I always end up liking the person that stays because they end up being a normal person, which I know Cory and America's thing was that they're both normal, you know. They're like maybe normal can be our always, you know. That's pretty much how they were for the entire season.
Yeah, all those people, all those showmances that got dropped down to one. Cody Nixon,
a leading example there. No,
yeah, why do you gotta start with that?
Talking about Brinchel,
Nick and Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey
or Bella, Nick and Bella.
No, neither of them got better for me. Sorry.
Bailey.
Bailey did, yeah.
Bailey
Christmas.
did for me.
Christmas did not. Christmas never got better.
No.
Christmas was only in we didn't even know Christmas was in a showmance until. Wait, no. Let me think about this, because Christmas got third in All Stars.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know she was in a showmance until what? The final 5 with Memphis? The week he went out?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm still not going to count it though, because those are both equally people that I don't want to ever see on Big Brother ever again.
Hannah and DX.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Alyssa after Kyle left.
Oh, Shy Boy's right. Nicole got third. Christmas got fourth.
Forget about that iconic eviction.
Yeah.
How do I forget about that?
Yeah. So.
Nicole, famous winner of both BB Comics on BB16.
So what you're saying is that you liked Nicole Franzel in season 18 when Cory got evicted.
I can't believe you just did this, Nick.
I didn't bring it up.
I know, and Zack didn't even bring it up. That was me.
I can't believe you just brought it up on your own. I thought we were working together on this, Nick.
I flipped.
You voted for Brett, man. This is a betrayal. Yeah. Yes, I loved Nicole Franzel. I did like Nicole on 16. We didn't get to see enough of her post Cory on 18 for me to say that. But
talking about enough of her, she won the game.
No, we didn't get to see enough of her post Cory, is what I'm saying, before the end of the game. before she won. And then All Stars, again, didn't get to see. Well, she wasn't even, her showmance was not even there. Her showmance was not in the game at that point. Technically, her showmance was on BB18 though. And she was on far after him 2 different times, but then we're just getting a little bit more complicated if we talk about that anymore. Because I don't even know what I'm talking about, so I'm gonna switch.
Wait. No, we need to bring, since we're talking about All Stars, did y'all see that Janelle tweet?
No.
Which one?
Janelle
Tweets a
got
lot.
well. Janelle just got out of the NDA because it's been 3 years.
Oh, yes.
Danielle was the reason. Is the reason behind pre-gaming. Because she reached out to Janelle and talked with her and asked her who you're going after, who you working with, and this, that, and the other. And she ran all that and went and told Franzel all of that. Yep, there it is.
Okay, I've pulled it up. It's been 3 years, so I finally want to address the pre-gaming regarding BB22. I may not go through this whole thread, but I'll at least read this part. It's sad to see Cody and Derek dragged for pre-gaming when it wasn't them. I've been silent for too long because I've been protecting this person. The person responsible for the pre-gaming, oh, she left on the cliffhanger on this first one.
Well, no, wait,
I gotta go.
Yeah.
Is Danielle Donato. Oh, she came out hot in the second tweet.
She spelled her name wrong.
No one cares.
I once considered her a friend, which I know is foolish.
Oh my God.
She called me to pregame. She asked me if I knew anyone doing the show, and I said no, I didn't, because the only person I talked to is Rachel, and Rachel can't do it because she's pregnant. She then proceeded to ask me who I wanted to go after. I never really gave names, but I know that everything I said, she immediately told Nicole Franzel. Geez. Well, blame Danielle. That's all I have to say on the matter, and I'm so glad the truth is finally out. I left off a tweet in between there if y'all want to go read that. But yeah, that's interesting.
I think that everyone on every reality show that involves attorneys ever is gonna pregame. So like,
quit gatekeeping for Danielle.
Yeah, I saw a video that Sharon Tharp had with Hayden Moss about him pre-gaming before he went on Survivor too. So
and he also said that Danielle reached out to him for also.
Really? That's funny. I mean, yeah, it's just gonna happen, right? Any season where you have a bunch of people that are connected to one show that already probably talk somewhat.
Challenge. Like I know you don't. I don't think you watch it that much, Barrett, but I know you do, Zack. And it's like literally, it's the same cast pretty much like every single season, and it's like they literally like hang out together all the time. It's like you really think they're not talking about what they're gonna do when they go back on the show. It's like, I don't know, every show that involves a bunch of attorneys and vets and people that have been involved in the show before, it's gonna happen. So it's just like,
yeah,
might as well get on it while
right.
Well, no, you know what's gonna happen. So
yeah, CBS cast all 3 of us.
We don't know. I've never met either of them.
No,
ever. So yeah, please. But yeah, you know, it's also an element I think people don't think about is like, if I had been on a show, and a lot of the times, especially in All Stars, it was someone that didn't win or was one move away from winning or just barely trying to get close enough. If I was on Big Brother and had that tragic moment where I was like, I almost won and I don't want to embarrass myself by going on All Star season, of course you're going to connect with people and try to figure out who's on the show. Like, you're going on national television to play a strategy game. You think you're not going to try to get a leg up on everyone? And you think you're going to walk out there and be the first one evicted? Like, no, you're competing for $750,000. And I think people
like, who am I? Keisha?
Yeah.
Stop. Get off her. She was an alternate.
And who probably didn't pregame is why she got out first.
She didn't.
She didn't know it. She didn't act like she knew a single person in that game. It was crazy.
She called Cody, or no, she called Tyler Taylor or something like that.
Yeah,
I remember.
Didn't
like,
go talk to Cody up in the
Janelle was
HOH
like,
room.
who's Taylor?
She knew Memphis from her season, but even Memphis was like a ghost to her. She's like, oh God, who are you? I got in a fight with you, I think, about 12 years ago.
Like, boy, we
You
went
were
to
my
Final
sister?
3.
Like-
We went to Final 4 together.
Yeah. Man. Another revisionist history is Keisha wins Big Brother All Stars. Some Brant
I
out
would
there.
be real here for that.
Yeah. I agree, Shy Boy. That eviction still hurts. It was a sad one. It was so sad during the pandemic. We were like, finally, we have Big Brother. Oh my God, Keisha's back, and she's gone.
Couldn't make it to her birthday.
Yeah. Keisha's back, and she's bad at the game.
Get
Who
off
thought?
her.
I'm not. She did not do good in All Stars. She's I think she's a great player that would do great if she came back again. There's players that I love that I can acknowledge played terrible games on their second or third go around. In some cases, someone's third go around, maybe in season 14. I won't say who it is.
James Hewling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd argue both of his go arounds were terrible because I hated watching them. 17's good though.
I liked him in 17.
What are we talking about? Can we?
Everything but this season, apparently.
I can kind of agree with that, Nick. I enjoyed James a lot more in 17. It really was just the returnee James that was.
Yeah.
So the veto.
The veto. God, we got 2 vetoes. We've got Core America on the block. I'm just gonna say it for fun now, I think. And the big old blindside Butterbeans. And I told you I was watching season 24 again. And so we have the blind side. Did I like anything from let me see if I have the clip from the actual, the actual veto ceremony that we finally got to see tonight after the cliffhanger from Tuesday's episode, which seems to be the thing for these Tuesday episodes now, is to leave on a big cliffhanger. So let's listen a little bit to it.
Nominee. The invisible head of household's replacement nominee is... Cory!
Is Jag the first HOH to put up a replacement nominee while not uttering a single word?
I think so.
Oh, man.
This veto meeting.
This show. How does it do it?
I don't know.
You can bleep me, but fuck you, Jag.
You gave me 0 time to bleep you. We are also live. What do you?
Yeah, like
What do you expect me to do?
I've been in editing.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not gonna remember where this is. 1 hour, 22 minutes, 16 seconds. All right, logged. I don't know how that logs it, but I'll find it.
yeah, I was about to say I don't really know how that's gonna help either, but okay.
Yeah, we see that in tonight's episode. We get the switch in the live living room where we now have Cory and America dressed in all black in the chairs. We get Cory's speech in tonight's episode, which you have not talked about yet. But oh my God, I don't even know how to classify it. I don't know if I should classify it, but if Cameron finds out about this speech, my God, that is going to be something. Okay, let me. Oh gosh, I forgot to hit the sound.
You're up first.
Thank you, Julie. First off, Stevie, I miss you so much. Daddy's coming home. To my fellow house guests, this has been the most incredible experience of my life, and that is a credit to all of you. So I just want to say thank you. But as a fan of this game, I would be remiss to not blow up at least one person's game. Bowie. I'm just kidding. Jag. I know you're the invisible HOH. I ask all of you to do with that information as you please.
I'll stop it there, but shoving it in the producers' faces with that invisible HOH line.
I love that.
I loved every line of that, calling out Bowie for half a second and then retracting it and then immediately calling out Jag for no reason. But yeah, Cory's gonna have to run away whenever Cameron finally watches the show, I think, because that is a classic speech opener, I will say. But again, Cory goes 5-0. Oh no. Okay. Anything else from this episode? Oh, yes. After the veto ceremony, we see America going to Jag in the initial argument saying, why? Just why? Tell me why. Tell me all the things. Why did this happen? Why didn't you tell me before? Obviously, Cory and America are going around talking to everyone else. And from almost everyone, they're like, you realize like everyone was in on this. We all knew about it. We were all told. So if anyone tells you that they didn't know, they're lying to you, which I thought was great. Everyone in this house sells out everybody all the time, which is exactly how I want it to be. Even the people that should be closely aligned sell out everybody constantly, even the people that they love the most, which has been a theme all season. It's a theme that I like. And for some reason, I think that Cerise started it. I can't put that on her. I just think that she did. I think she's the reason this energy is so chaotic and everyone hates each other all the time. Okay.
It's Survivor.
Yes. Also in tonight's episode, we had a Cerise superhero edit of sorts, where Cerise was doing her superhero tasks in her superhero costume, which she hated. And we got a lot of moments of her talking about how much she just, in a sense, how much she hates being here, which has been a theme for a few weeks now. And will continue to be a theme until she gets evicted from that house and or wins the $750,000. Is that she?
Are you gonna whoop? Are you gonna play again? Hell no!
Never, ever, 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 ever. She said it like 50 times. She ain't ever coming back, bitch. Like,
that's how it always feels too. When you in the finales, when Julie's like, and applications are now open for Big Brother, whatever the next season is, and you can see everyone in the background going, no. Please don't do this.
You have Jackson Mickey in the background. Just no.
I remember Ian Terry specifically after winning the show as well, like Jackson Mickey, in completely different circumstances, though, beating arguably the greatest player of all time in the final two. He still was like visibly shaking his head no. And then he came back as well. But, different circumstances, I guess. I don't think I have that clip from Cerise exactly from her superhero moment, but I just wanted to bring it up because of just because I appreciate her mindset in this game, because she seems to have the only rational mindset at times and also has the only unscripted DR sessions at this point in the game. Jag, I don't think says a single thing on his own. Blue, Felicia does, because Lord knows nobody else can come up with those lines. Blue never says something that is not completely rehearsed. Bowie doesn't really say anything that's not completely rehearsed unless she's like crying in the TR, which is unfortunate that that's the only time she can really say something that doesn't come off as scripted. Cory seems to practice his lines, in America, honestly, sometimes I kind of...
America's is pretty...
America does
America
better.
has some good ones.
Yeah.
So maybe Cerise's not the only one. I guess I can't say that. But she's the one that I relate to the most, because she's just like, it's 80 days. It is 80 days in this house. I am losing my mind. All of my friends are gone. I just want this season to be over, which is how every person probably should be in the game at this point. But they're not vocalizing it enough, where Cerise is every chance that she gets.
Why the hell didn't I get solitary confinement?
Yeah, she was pleading practically for solitary confinement when she saw Felicia in there, or when she saw Felicia go in there and thinking to herself, Felicia just has to sit in there away from these people for 24 hours. That's not a punishment at all. Like, I would love to do that. Felicia did not come up with a funeral for herself in solitary confinement. A little disappointed by that, but she didn't need to. Because, well, technically, Felicia came out of solitary confinement and also came off of the block. So, statistically speaking, when you go into solitary confinement and you're on the block, is it 100% of the time you come out of it and get off the block?
No, because Xavier went into solitary confinement on BB23 and he came out as Lucius.
He came out as Lucius in probably one of the most awkward... totally forget about that. He took 2 minutes to dance down those stairs with that giant...
And Julie was like, come on now!
I hated that. That was awful.
Oh God, yeah. I think I remember specifically talking about that with you, Nick, after that eviction. Yeah, that was
I
great
do
because
too.
Julie was over there like, hurry up now, Lucius. And Xavier did not
He was
understand that
like-
she was not joking. She thought he was like, oh, she's into it, you know? Yeah, she's going along with the bit.
And he did like a little twirl. I remember that.
Yep. He did everything to slow himself down to go vote, which was more than I could have asked for. Now that I think about it, Xavier deserved that win just based on that moment alone. But he wasn't on the block when he came out of solitary, so he doesn't count for this statistic. But I would love to know, when someone is on the block and then goes into solitary confinement after coming out, are we at a 100% success rate? Are Dan and Felicia the only two people to go into solitary while on the block?
Was
if so-
Judd on the block?
Ooh,
Judd
that's
had
a good
solitary
question.
confinement.
Remember he had to push that alarm every like 15 minutes or something for like an hour, or like for 24 hours.
No, but
Yeah.
I believe you.
Oh my god. I don't think I'm ever gonna find, like, I doubt the BB wiki page has anything where I could find a bunch of solitary confinement people over the past however many
they do.
seasons. But that would be something interesting.
He
To
was
just
the
add.
HOH. Apparently.
The HOH during his solitary. Okay.
Yeah.
So doesn't count for Judd, doesn't count for Xavier. I feel like we don't have a solitary confinement every year, though, is the thing.
No.
Hayden Moss, Shelley Moore, Dan Giesling, Judd, Xavier, and Felicia.
Okay. So if Felicia
Oh, and
ends up-
Daniel Reyes and All Stars.
Ah, okay. So I have to look into that afterwards. I guess we don't have to go through and see if they were on the block for each of them during that week, but maybe some research after the fact. I do want to bring up, I know we've talked so much about this week now. I mean, literally an hour and a half about this week, because there's too much to go over at certain points. We have a nice war brewing, I must say, between America and Matt and Jag, which is why I'm sitting here being like, if America comes out and wins this HOH, I'm not going to ask anything of Big Brother for the rest of the season, I don't think, because that will be peak television if America wins this HOH. I want to see Matt, because Matt will be the last person to have been on the block for the first time, correct?
Bowie.
Has Bowie still not been on the block? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Fucking Bowie Jane.
I mean, if anybody does not be on the block,
She's
it was
gone
Bowie.
80 fucking days and still hasn't touched the block without
been-
doing anything. Like,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Well,
She won HOH,
she won an HOH that she threw.
and she got out Cameron. Like, we got to give her some props there.
Yeah. She did. She got out the
Sure.
biggest competitor in the game. If you want to argue whether that was a good move or not, that's your prerogative. I don't think it's a bad move to get rid of Cameron ever in the Big Brother.
Me
So
neither.
I'm not going to sit here and say that. But yeah, Bowie would be the last person to not be nominated. That's crazy, but also
Don't
understandable.
like that.
Yeah, it's usually, I feel like the Bowie as a player is the person that gets nominated every week in that position. So that is interesting. But then again, if you're comparing her to like a Victoria, I don't know. Victoria didn't win anything, whereas Bowie has at least won an HOH and actually had power. So you can't even call her that kind of player anymore. She has a lot more stock in the game than she did 2 weeks ago.
She does.
But yeah, we don't have to talk too much more about this week if it ever comes up again for the rest of this podcast, because we still have Bowie Jane's week to discuss, which we're not going to go in depth because who cares for a lot of the things now, especially for like the Cory and America stuff. I hate to be blunt, but honestly, who cares? I know you don't care if I talk about things that happened 2 weeks ago. I just want to talk about the funnies that I remember, or just slight observations. But I do want to say from tonight's episode, that was tonight's episode. Yes. Sari and Felicia had a conversation where they did discuss this war aspect, how the war has finally started. And that was such a good play on what I thought the beginning of the week was for Sari, where she does have this DRs where she's like, I'm going to lay low. I know that since there's not the house consensus target by any means this week for the first time in a while, that I am just going to lay low and wait for the next just impending war to start, which is exactly what happened. She got the war to start. Everything that she kind of wanted to come to a boil this week and maybe erupt a little bit finally did. And there's a really cool conversation that they showed on tonight's episode with her and Felicia talking about this. And I really do think that the producers put that there in the mindset of like, if they get to the final two together, this will be one of the most like iconic clips that we can go back to. Because you do have those moments every now and then in a season that doesn't know who the winner is. We don't have that Survivor edit where they already know and they can kind of edit according to who the actual important players are. In Big Brother, they don't have that advantage. So to see those little segments that I can see them being like, just in case this happens, let's put this in here. Whenever they do pay off, they pay off really well. And I think for Cerie's week kind of arc, or I should say, it's really paying off because I think she's been the most interesting character this entire season, but right now I think she's even more so because she's not the head of the snake like she was in the beginning, but she is still quietly in the shadows. And that sounded like Star Wars almost. She's almost like she's Palpatine on Exegol right now. She is waiting to build her empire. But no, she's very quietly trying to sneak her way into that end game position, which she's doing a great job so far. At just adapting her game that way. And it's so fascinating to watch how she is constantly hating this game, but still doing the best at it. And because that's just the kind of game player that she is. Even when she's not liking the game, she can still play her ass off.
This is kind of off topic, but do y'all know why Big Brother Daily hasn't updated?
Personal reasons. I think they said that they couldn't keep up with anything. They were doing episodes they were doing like the live evictions and stuff for a few weeks, but yeah, I think personal reasons is just all they kind of said.
Okay. But yeah, Cerie's doing a very good job.
Hot take.
Yeah, hot take. I think she's getting back in her rhythm. She may think that because Jared's gone, like, oh, I don't have anybody left, but I still think she has a clear goal to make it to the end. And who knows, she may win some last minute comps and get the people that she needs to get out. I mean, there's still so much game left. And it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Very much so.
I mean, she started on top anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see because we had this moment with Cory where he's talking to the cameras 2 days ago, I believe, and he's talking about kind of who he would vote for in the end. And he said he would vote for Matt if he was at the end. He would also vote for Jag if he was at the end. He didn't. He would vote. He said he would vote for Jag as long as they weren't against America. He would vote for both of them. He did not mention Cirie is the thing though. So we don't, which is not a good thing necessarily. Because I mean,
maybe it's because he doesn't think that Cerie's going to make it to the end.
Could be that, or it could be. I hope it's not the case that he just views Matt and Jag's game as superior to Cerie's right now. That is in no way true, especially in Jag's case. With Matt, you have it arguable in the sense of like Matt has successfully played Cirie a number of times. But I think Matt has his faults as well. I mean, Cirie has her faults. Everybody in this game has their faults. And when it's this messy of a season, and information just doesn't, information travels like a million miles an hour in that house. You're bound to have a non-perfect game from the start.
Especially, we didn't touch on this either of this past week about how toxic like almost the whole house was, but mainly just because of the toxic trio of Matt, Jag, and Blue. Like,
yeah,
the biggest shit talkers ever I've met in my life. And they just bounce off of each other like crazy. And whenever you think about it too, Taylor really opened my eyes and opened a lot of people's eyes, especially because they need to take into consideration, like, yes, whoever deserves best game, I guess, should win. But you also need to think about voting who is going to be the winner of this season, who is going to represent this season as the winner of the game. Comps like, oh yeah, you should be able to nominate the people and win power veto. Yeah, but I feel like comp wins should be so low and on the facts, because it doesn't matter how many comps you win, because look at Jack. He is still like playing an awful social game. He is still not using his powers his powers that he gets from these comps to the best of his ability, besides taking out Cory in America, but he still put up Felicia and Blue. Who's to say that Felicia doesn't flip on Jag automatically, because anyone can win this HOH from what it looks like. It looks like a mental comp. It just aggravates me, especially since Cory, of all people, is looking and viewing this as Matt and Jag. Yeah, they're going to take this away because they win the cups. No, fuck the comps.
I agree. I feel like the comps get like whatever. People put the comps on a pedestal, and I don't think that they should be either. I think that you could win as many comps as you want, but it's not how many you can win, in my opinion. It's more so what you do with those wins. And like, yeah, you could win 4 HOHs, but like if you're targeting like Blue, is like that really anything amazing that you can like oh, I took out Blue, or I like, it's dumb. And to me, it's just like it's weird, because the more comps Jag wins, the more I feel like his game is bad, because he's just like proving how bad of a read he has on things. And it's like, oh, like you're just bad and you're just winning things and doing dumb things. Whereas if you didn't win things, like it would be better, because you wouldn't have the ability to do these dumb things. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. The comps are just like dumb. And I guess people like look at it and they're like, oh, like you can win things. And it's like, yeah, but like there's so much more to the game than winning things.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think a large part of that is just trying to make people aware of it, which a lot of times we see it happen in the jury phase, where they finally get to talk about things with each other and realize, oh, well, this person kind of did this. They were talking about this. They had this person. And they kind of earn a little bit more respect for their games in those weeks. So I'm hoping that is the case for Suri when it comes to Cory. If we do have that scenario, like the thing is, I wouldn't be offended if there was like a Matt Suri final 2 and Cory voted for Matt. I think Matt has a lot of reason that he should win this game. I think he's played a pretty good game. After watching Suri this week and watching Matt, I'm back on the train of being like, I think Suri should win over Matt, mainly because I didn't like Matt's behavior in a lot of aspects this week, which we kind of already talked about earlier. But
you just gotta look at the story.
Yeah, and I think Suri has a great story.
I mean, come on, Cory. I think that's just a bitterness from Cory, because of the fact that Suri is lasting longer than him, and he knew he had to get out Suri.
Yeah,
he knew it from the get-go, but he wasn't able to do it. I mean, he took out someone that was good for his game. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, Suri has been on Survivor 5 times. She's almost made it to the end. She won the Traitors. She got screwed over in 2 games that she was supposed to win. And now she's making it on this. She makes it to the end on this season, the longest season ever of Big Brother. She plays with her son. She's not only playing 1 game, she's playing 2 games at the same time, and she's having someone destroy her game from the inside out, and she's still able to pull through and able to make it this far.
And all of them are out, like her people are all out. Like,
yeah, and that's another thing that she could easily say is like, and she doesn't realize this is the thing. So other people are going to have to see that Jared and Izzy completely destroyed her game in a lot of aspects. Izzy to so much less of a degree, I think, but Jared completely tarnished her game, and so she's not going to say that, and she doesn't even think that. We see it though. We see how hard she was trying to play, and that, I mean, who knows? That could be part of like her just mental struggles to keep up with this game right now and wanting to stay, is because she doesn't realize how hard she has worked to stay in this game, because she doesn't see how much Jared dropped her down just by her being attached to Felicia in a kayak for 2 days, let alone when he was in the house for 50, 60 days or whatever it was. So she's not going to say that. Other people are going to have to see it. And if they do, I do think that she has a much better shot. But I mean, she's going to, if she gets to the final two, I have no doubt she's going to outline her game to the best of her abilities and really try to sway this jury, if they're not already swayed by thinking about how she's played this game. But going to this week, the little things that she does all the time in the midst of her, God, I hate this game, I'm so over this. But as soon as Jag or Matt come in there to tell her a piece of information, or let's say when Jag told her that he was the invisible HOH, and Felicia does this great too. It's, oh my God, they are so elated. They are so happy. Jag, this is so great for you. I'm so happy. They are so good at just making people feel like they are like loved by them. And which a lot of it's genuine. Let's be real. I think Suri does absolutely love everyone that is in that house. She doesn't like the game. She likes the people. But she is able to show people that so effortlessly. And right now, especially, she's so good at it, I think, because she's not critically aligned with any one person, which she's more or less played that way the entire season. Even if she was the head of the snake, she was still around, she was still talking to people. She still got the information. She was still having the conversations, and she just has that such keen ability to play the game, but also kind of snap out of it with people and make people think that they're her best friend. I mean, did you watch her and Izzy? Izzy didn't leave her for like a month. And I'm sure there was quite a few times Suri was like, please just leave the room for once, Izzy. Please, just like, I need just a few seconds. But she still loves Izzy to death, and she is able to make people know that, which is why you sit here and you don't have Matt being like, we got to get Suri out. And you don't have Jackson, we got to get Suri out, because they just feel so good with her. And they also don't see her as a threat right now, when they absolutely should, because if they don't get her out in the next couple weeks or so, or if they let this war kind of build into another thing, you're going to have Suri Fields as probably the winner of Big Brother 25. And honestly, I wouldn't mind living in that world, watching her play, because I think it's great. It's just great.
I agree. Everything you just said. I mean, to me, Suri is just like the definition of like social player. She's never won anything in Survivor either, and she's played 5,000 times, and she's made it to the end every single time, minus, I think she's only played 4 times, Zack, but I think you're wrong there. But for once. But
I think Suri plays more Survivor seasons every time we podcast.
I think so. I think she's only played 4 times. But anyways, she's never won an immunity, or at least an individual challenge. And she's made it to the end every single time except one season. And she's, spoiler alert, won a whole other show. So it's like, I don't know. To me, she's just like the all-around like person that you should look at when you want to look at like social players, and like how people can maneuver their way through a game without winning things.
Yeah,
because that is Suri.
Yep, and she's able to do it. And I know social game is complicated, because I think people sit there and say,
yeah,
like,
let me say, I think, sorry, not to cut you off, I hate when people are like, oh, this person's playing a good social game, and it's like, no, they're not playing a good social game. They're just like in the game. Yeah. And that I hate that, because it's like, to me, like a good social player is like someone that is like working hard to build social bonds with people, and is connecting with people personally, and is like just an all-around likable and enjoyable person that other people in the game want to keep around for that reason. Being kept around because you suck at competitions and are useless does not make you a good social player.
No.
So I hate that.
Yeah, and that's the difference. They're not saying they're keeping Suri around because she can't win anything. They want to keep Suri around because they like her. That's the difference.
Yes.
Mikol couldn't win competitions and was not and was technically, I feel like, was one of those people that you could accidentally classify as a social player, but that was not the case with her at all. She wasn't winning competitions and she avoided the block, but absolutely no one had a game relationship with her.
Yes.
Absolutely no one. And that's a great point. Like, that is what people misconstrue about social games, is that you actually you can't just say someone has a social game because they don't win competitions. That's not how it exactly works. You have to see them actively having these conversations with people. And this is another thing that I think people can misconstrue about Blue, because Blue is another one of those people who's not going to win a ton of competitions, has the ability, but is not going to win a ton. And does have a social relationship with people per se. But the thing is, she's not aware of that. She has not once made that clear in the DR that she has any idea what she's doing. Whereas Suri is doing all of this and going to the DR being like, this is exactly what I'm doing. Like that is a social game to a T. We also have to actually know that you are playing the game, which if you have a good social game, there's no doubt that we know that you're playing the game, because you usually tell us on a Sunday or a Tuesday or a Thursday.
Victoria played an amazing social game.
She was the best social player I've ever seen. Yeah.
Victoria, Gina Marie.
Victoria was always like, I can just throw this competition because I've got everybody, you know?
She had the winner in her back pocket.
Oh boy.
Do you remember when Derek told her to make a fake fight for them? To act like she was upset with them, and so she went to the HOH room crying that Derek made her upset, and nobody ever knew anything different about it.
And then they were like, I'm never gonna trust him again. I'm not voting for you in the end.
Man. Suri Fields. Oh, I have a clip from Suri that I want to use to kind of wrap up this topic. It was it's not too much to show off her game, but it was funny because Cory brought up showmances around Suri and asked her how she would feel if one of her sons got into a showmance on a reality show.
And gotten like a very intimate. Suri, how would you feel if one of your kids is on a reality show and then gotten like a very intimate showmance?
I didn't see this.
Specifically, how would you talk to the potential boyfriend if you think they would disapprove in general? Thoughts?
Before?
You can tell she is so caught off guard by this. Oh, you see her face? She's like, am I being clocked?
She's like, wait a minute.
How would you talk to the potential boyfriend if you think they would disapprove in general? Thoughts?
She doesn't know how to answer that.
Before?
No, like afterwards when they come off the show, theoretically, and you talk to them.
It depends on what all occurred on the show.
Okay, and let's
what if it's more than you'd hope?
More than you'd hope, and it all happened in the scramble room.
Let me fact checking real quick. Did anything happen in the scramble room between Blue and Jared?
What didn't happen in the scramble room?
Which is the scramble room?
Is that
that's the upside down one?
Oh, yeah. So no. Okay. But I have never, that is the most flustered I've seen Suri this entire season, I think, because you can see she's going through like the mindset of, does he know? Is he like messing with me right now? And that's why he's asking this. And she can't even answer the question at first. It's so funny.
Before? After? That was so funny. I didn't see that.
That was good.
Julie pops out. What if I told you?
Julie walks into the backyard. Julie being in the backyard of the Big Brother house would make my mind like melt, I think. I don't think has that ever, I can't remember when that's happened. I'm sure it has, but
I don't think so.
Wasn't
maybe like during a house tour?
Wasn't BB last year? Wasn't the backyard where the jurors were?
That's a good question. For a
They
special, oh, good point, Shy Boy. I forgot on the talk, she did play like a mini game of Big Brother, and she does do the house tours. But I'm just trying to think the backyard specifically. Do we ever see her back there? I can't ever remember. I am bad at remembering any house tour. If she goes into the backyard at any point, I'm sorry. If she goes into the backyard every single year and I have completely forgotten that, I apologize as well.
I don't think she
I
does.
don't remember either.
Wild stuff. We have just a couple more things to talk about, y'all.
The zings.
Yes, but I was gonna say first we have to talk about. Oh wait, wait. I clicked on the Streamlabs screen and not the actual Twitter screen.
When in doubt, blame Cory.
We have to talk about Bowie's HOH.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through quickly what I noted from these episodes. My live feed memory is so distant at this point. So if anything big happened on the live feeds from this week that you need me to talk about, please tell me. But so we got Bowie's the HOH. We finally found out that she was trying to throw her infamous HOH where she guessed the number 27 of the minutes or seconds, minutes in the week. How many minutes in a week was the question? And she guessed 27. Who would have thought she was trying to throw it up? But she accidentally won anyway. Cam was immediately feeling good about it, as we remember. Let's see. Jag thinks that Bowie is a good final 3 option, which we're kind of seeing that take place still in the game. We have Bowie as a good final 3 option for Matt and Jag. And we also have on the other side of things, Felicia and Sari clocking that so hard that Bowie is kind of their third wheel in that. So Felicia, I believe, was even talking about that today. She's like, so do you think they tell Bowie that she's good with them like they tell us that we're good with them? And Sari was like, yes, they definitely are. So they know about that. And we have Blue wanting Cory out, obviously. We have this DR where Sari says that Blue is her closest ally, which is like, oh man, she really is going through the thick of it at this point of the season. If Blue is her closest ally, and her closest allies always win, right? Is that the thing?
Oh God. Why did you say that?
I'm hoping it's Felicia in this case. And so Cory wants Blue and Cam on the block. We got that. But Bowie kind of stood her ground last week and really just wanted to put up Sari and Felicia, which is who we saw on the block initially. She didn't want to backdoor anyone because she didn't have, and especially Cam, she didn't want to backdoor him because Cam didn't give her a reason to backdoor him. And as we saw, Cam eventually gave her a reason to backdoor him when he finally said something to the degree of that she's untrustworthy. What did he say about her? They got him to say something eventually in the bathroom or whatever about Bowie. He just wasn't sure where her mind was at or something. That was it. That was really all it took to be like, okay, Cam's going on the block. Because Bowie didn't have too much of a argument against putting up Cam. She just didn't have a reason to really specifically put up Cam because he hadn't said anything really against her. Which mainly that's because Cam did look at Bowie as a actual ally. Dating back to even like pre-Red eviction a little bit. I mean, the Red vote, they were the only 2 votes to save Red unknowingly before the blind side. And so he kind of looked at her as a confidant from then, but Bowie didn't really have that same kind of opinion about Cameron, which everyone had the same opinion about Cameron, which was we should probably get him out, right? He's kind of strange and good at this game. So we should definitely send him to the jury house. He's also a zombie, but we have Sari and Felicia on the block and Sari as the main target, which I made a note last week of how did it take Bowie Jane of all people to finally realize that Sari Fields is in this game of Big Brother and make her the target. But Bowie Jane was the first one to do that. Props to her. Props to her for actually seeing Sari as a good target to have. No one else would do that. We just talked about it. I kind of hope they don't, but I thought it was interesting.
I'm just imagining Bowie Jane just like unmasking herself and just stops talking in her accent, and she's like, now I'm really here to play.
She's in the DR and her Australian accent just goes away. Like mid-sentence.
There's
like-
yeah, instead of an invisible HOH, it's an invisible American. They don't know who it is. Might it be the Australian? Nah, it's not me. Okay. Bowie's wanted the nominations to say the same at first before the veto, but obviously we ended up having the talk about Cameron saying the things about her, and that was all it took. Cameron's on the block. But let's talk about the thing that we really care to talk about from last week, which is OTEV and the Zingbot combined into one. It's a scramble verse like no other, where we have Zingbot making he came out and was giving compliments at first, which I feel like we've seen.
You guys look so lovely.
Yeah. Have we not seen that? Like every time Zingbot comes out, it's like he's like, something's wrong with me. I'm not zinging, so you got to make me zing again.
Literally every single time. It's old at this point.
Except for that one time when he ran for president.
Oh, right, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you remember what season that was?
I don't remember that was all blend together. There's no way I could figure
I remember what season it was.
I already know then.
I'm annoyed.
There was a season where he had like a child too or something.
The baby Zingbot or whatever the hell it was.
Zingbot. And he was getting married in another one.
Yeah.
Getting divorced in the next one.
Yeah.
You gotta help me.
I will say, I think it's lazy that they combined the two. That's how I took it.
Also, that's pretty valid too.
I took it as laziness. I was like, well, let's just make it one comp. Like,
yeah.
It's like who's gonna be the big OTEV this year? Oh man, our writers are gone. We don't know what to do.
Hey, they were back tonight, Zack, with that line about she taught him how to kiss. He taught her about the Constitution. But Jag's about to take them to school. I don't remember.
But Jag schooled them, which doesn't make sense because Jag isn't schooling anyone.
Yeah, Jag is not good at the game, honey.
It also didn't make sense when Cory went to vote last week and Julie said, how do I look? Let me guess. And then she never said anything after that. That was the end of her sentence. She didn't guess anything. And then Cory just said good, which was a great moment. But Julie saying, how do I look? Let me guess. And then not saying anything after that doesn't.
Oh yeah, and then he lied.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said she looked greatly exquisite or something, and I'm like, why you lie?
There's no point to you lying right now. It's like Jared lying about Blue finding out about him and Suri being mother and son. She's like, you have this is recorded, Jared. We will see this.
Howie, why you lie? I'm 35 years old. Why?
Little known fact.
I will say the zings that I like the most is probably America's was really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull up a full video of all the zings just
Blues
so we can really judge them in the moment now that we've had a week to think about it.
Cory's was crazy. They like roasted the shit out of him.
They were waiting all season for that.
They were.
Also, I didn't like how they went for Felicia because she has no wrinkles.
Yeah, that one was so lazy. And then Matt's dumb blonde comments, that just didn't make any sense. Because Matt is really one of the smarter people in this game. So, I mean, you could help Matt out by calling him a dumb blonde if you want to. I guess that would help. That would help him. People think that he's dumber than he actually is. But I found Cory's song.
Oh my gosh. It's your girl.
It makes me want to sing a song the whole country can get behind. Cory's not beautiful under any skies, short like a piece of grain. A thin mustache, if you call it
so long.
America, did you have a lobotomy?
Oh,
He's
man.
a tiny man, can't kiss words a damn. Let's throw him in the sea.
They ended it with saying they should throw him in the sea.
They really just like
I feel like right after they like got done like roasting him, he like made a comment. He was like he made a song, and like you hear how like sad he is, and it's like it like went in on him.
It's like the producers were just like, okay, for Matt, we've got the dumb blonde one. We'll get Felicia Good with that wrinkle zinger. And for Cory, we're going to tell him we're going to fucking murder him and throw him in the sea.
While calling him a little man, saying he sucks at kissing, calling him ugly. Like anything else. Like God damn.
It was a good one though. I really liked it.
It was.
Okay.
I still think that BB16 had the best sings.
That's the one with Kathy Griffin, right?
Yeah, Kathy Griffin wrote them like, I would zing you, but I'm only supposed to zing people that are actually playing the game. Do you know who that was?
That was Victoria, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember Zack Rance's was like a reversal on Frankie. It was who wears pink and cuddles with men, and then and she's like, you call him Zack, and then she like went towards him and was like, zing, mother effing zing.
Oh, and then Kayla, you and Amber have something in common. You think she's drop dead gorgeous, and she wants you to drop dead.
That is one thing I will say about Cameron that I forgot to even write in my notes, is that his BB life is eerily similar to Beast Mode Cowboy, I think.
What?
Insanely good at competitions.
Yeah, I see it.
Wait, who's
obsessive? Oh, Cameron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just insanely good at competitions to an annoying degree. Obsessive. Oh, I'm not going to say obsessive, but just like weird around both Riley and America. Any person that he obviously had a crush on, just okay. And then what was the next thing? Oh, just universally not being liked by anybody. And also on top of that, talking about how much he's going to get in the entertainment world after being on the show. That man.
And that doesn't happen.
And then it does. Yeah. And then you get on Survivor and get medevaced immediately. Yes.
And they get voted out in the same place in a season that you're not supposed to be on.
Yeah. You think Cameron's a fit for the Challenge USA though?
No.
You think they put him on there?
No, I saw this tweet the other day. This is on topic with that, but I saw this tweet the other day, and it was like, it was a picture of Jag, and it said, he's a lock for the Challenge USA 3, and he's going to do absolutely nothing the whole time. And it was like, that's the most accurate thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Matt for sure is going to be either on the Challenge or the Challenge USA for years to come. Either one, he's going to be on them. He is made for that show, I think. Yeah, he's probably gonna thrive too.
Well, yeah, he's a fan of Andrew Tate, so
oof.
I'm gonna keep on mentioning that for anyone that's a fan of Matt's.
I keep thinking I'm gonna find Zingbot's zings in one like big video, but I'm not.
You could pull up the episode.
I will, yeah. I just thought maybe I could find it quicker than that. But I didn't.
That would be too easy.
And then me Cole getting zinged
by not even being there. Yeah.
I think it was the first time they've ever done that.
Yeah.
I imagine just her sitting at home like, what the fuck?
Literally.
She probably was. She probably was just sitting at home and got that next to her. And so, yeah, catching strays from beginning to end. So, Oh yeah, I guess I should just let y'all watch me do this so you're not completely bored out of your mind while I get Zingbot pulled up so you can see me slowly go to it. Hey Felicia. Wrinkle-free Felicia, I should say.
Literally. Not a wrinkle in sight.
America.
Also, these people, like, what is the reason for these people? Like, pause it. Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
can you
What?
like go back?
What do you want me to go back to?
Like the people behind them.
Oh, I didn't know you were wanting to talk about them. Yeah, let me find a good spot.
Oh, they have
was
the
right before-
weirdest people on that board.
It was right before. Yep. Oh,
The
back.
Zings. I'm ready.
Right before that?
Yeah, right before.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Like Frenchie's up there. Why are they putting Jody up there? What did Jody do?
Well, it's all the first boots, or well, mainly first boots.
Yeah,
and
Frenchie-
then Victoria. Why is Victoria there? Is more like
That's what I was
third.
thinking. Yeah, she's not a first boot. And
It's all,
Frenchie
like,
isn't a
first or
first boot
second-
either.
They
I
just
mean,
called
it's all
them
like
idiots.
people who
So
went in like
it's-
the first or second boots, but
yeah, it's all the just people that they want to classify as idiots in the game. Annie, we have the saboteur fail.
Who's
well,
Carol?
they had the guy. Carol was the first boot of season 8.
Yeah. Frenchie was second
They-
boot. Travis was first. Victoria got third place. I mean, that's weird to throw Victoria on there, but I kind of get it, but it doesn't track with everything else.
Paloma got
My
third,
girl-
or Paloma was third out, I think.
Shy Boy
My
just
girl
was bummed
JoJo's
that
on there
BB flops,
too.
which may be what
and
Zingbot actually
I
said.
did not appreciate that, but the guy from season 9 was on there too.
Wait, play it again.
I don't know if you saw that.
There's more people in the back.
You definitely see.
Wait,
That's right.
wait. Keep on going.
In the Scrambleverse,
I'm trying.
of the Zing.
I want you to see all your people.
Okay, here come the Zings.
Oh, Ovi.
It's Ovi. There's JoJo. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Get her- I love JoJo.
I was about to say, you should take personal offense to that, Nick.
I do. That's my girl.
They were just called BB losers, weren't they?
I guess, but it's just funny to me that it was like literally a whole bunch of early outs and then there's Victoria.
Yeah, it's an interesting collection of people for sure.
I'm ready for it. Roast me.
Danger! Danger!
Oh wait, pause.
Okay, wait, pause it.
Ah,
Oh my god, I just want to hear the zings.
That's right.
I don't
In
care
the
about these people
Scrambleverse,
anymore.
I'm king of the Zing.
Okay,
We will
here
get
come the
this in a
Zings.
second.
I'm ready for it.
Let's pause it right here.
See,
Come.
Jacob from season 9. That is crazy to me.
reject. Indy's on there. Why?
Indy is
Dungy's,
fitting. I'll be
Amira?
honest.
Mira with the snake.
Yeah.
Oh, they got what's his face from BB15 in the back. The first boot.
BB15.
Yeah.
Oh, David. Oh my god, David is there.
Surfer David. Oh yeah, that is. Snuck in
They're
there.
like
Oh.
acknowledging 15 for the first time.
I think McCrae had a little something in a random competition not
Oh,
that long ago.
probably.
I think it's
But yeah, it's rare that we get to see season 15 exist in history.
And season
it's like
9.
yeah, it almost has to be an accident. Like someone made this and they're like, "Oh, we forgot to tell them not to put season 9 or 15 out there."
Yeah.
no. They're like,
Oh,
what season were these people on again?
Let me
That's
hear the-
Tyler. No, wait. Who's that? That doesn't look like Tyler.
Can I please
Yeah.
Yes,
you're
you
good.
can play the zings
Yeah.
now.
thank God.
There is a thief among us! America! You're under arrest for robbing the cradle!
Yeah. I
Yeah.
thought it was interesting that she said Zingbot said there's a thief among us, and then they played very Among Us like music directly after that.
vulgar in the house, let it be known.
Let's get
Who think
Felicia's.
brought the bigger wrinkles to this game? The multiverse twist or Felicia?
Not good at all.
Girl like that. Otev.
Dumb.
Jag! Your gameplay reminds me of a sports car. Not
This
a
one was really bad
Jaguar,
too.
More like a Corvette, an Aston Moron, and a Lamborghini. Your
Oh.
catchphrases
Lynn's up there too.
is your fashion sense.
I forgot about Blue's fashion sense one, just because it's like,
I'm gonna tell you right now, you look rusty, crusty, dusty. So don't
Shut
even
up!
stay in your lane.
Jesus! You're not on TikTok!
don't come from my
God!
favorite player like that.
Who's scary teeth
Cerise's number one
terrify
ally.
people,
Yes.
and the other ones
Oh yes, the Great White Shark, Bowie Jane reference.
a shark.
Stupid.
Get me
Like-
started on those pigtails, Zing.
I see Bowie Jane's teeth before I see the rest of her body appear
my
in
God.
any room.
Why?
Jag
they
made it
do it?
worse. Yeah, Jag made it so much worse.
To a 6-week me coma.
Oh, sorry. Let me get this one in full.
Impact on my life. I've gone from me bored to a 6-week me coma. Oh wait, Nicole was so under the radar, I didn't realize she got evicted.
Otev may have forgotten that Mimi was evicted. I haven't. I replay it every night before I go to bed.
Not in the house, Zing!
Not in the house,
Cutout.
Zing. That's actually kind of funny.
At home.
Oh my God, that is terrible.
Matt! I can see why you hit it up with a cardboard cutout. Similar intent.
Ha 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 ha.
Come on, Zing.
Leaving you alone. But that's okay. Now you can finally do what you do best.
Zach loves this one.
Lose while on an island. The time has spoken, Zing.
Will Suri lose while on an island yet again? We'll probably talk about it in every week leading up to the finale, specifically
Probably
with the
will.
phrase on an island. Otev Zingbot, everybody.
The writers weren't there for that.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Blue's fashion as well. That was a bad zing. Not a good zing at all.
So do I.
She was wearing
It's like
jorts.
one of the
during-
redeeming qualities about her.
she was wearing jorts whenever that zing happened, so I feel like it was pretty appropriate.
I don't think I have much else to really talk about from last week other than Cameron said again after getting evicted, which I thought was kind of funny, actually. Of course, we have the whole exquisite voting.
Yeah, that was
which
cute.
was, yeah,
Oh,
I like
he
that
was
a
also
lot.
saying, I would really like to come back and do this again. And then Julie was like, you never know.
He also was like, I'm waiting for you to tell me to go back in the house. She's like, I can't do it. I don't know if I can do that for you this time.
And she's like, get out.
One
I'm
thing
trying
I
to get
did
rid of
know
you.
in his eviction interview, he didn't really seem to grasp why he got evicted, which was interesting to me from a guy who has been socially at the bottom this entire game, which makes sense. If a guy is at the bottom the entire game and gets evicted, comes back only because he won competitions, and then gets evicted again now that long later, he probably hasn't realized what he's doing wrong. So maybe this shouldn't shock me, but he's not seeing his own game to a degree that I didn't anticipate when he had that interview. Like, he didn't see himself completely tear apart his majority alliance that formed that first week. Single-handedly did that. I am pretty sure, watching him go around to everybody else in the house and be like, yeah, just the cool kids went too far, tried to form something they weren't ready for. And we're like, what the hell are you talking about, dude? He's like, and also Riley's my daughter, I think. Like, we need to, this guy's crazy. But I should have thought that he wasn't going to see that coming out of the house, which who knows if he will ever realize the poor game that he played. But something that I wanted to note, at least at the end of that week. Cerise said F OTEV, by the way. Forgot about that. I think that happened probably 2 seconds after I stopped playing the clip. So now I'm going to bring it back because I made that note.
OTEV. Good for her.
No, seriously.
She spilled.
Honestly, she's saying what we're all thinking.
Yeah, I agree.
She is.
I honestly could do without Zingbot and without OTEV for a while. I'm surprised I didn't use it's kind of like musical chairs. It's kind of like musical chairs.
Yeah.
It's like musical chairs. It's like musical chairs. We get it. We get it. We get it. We get it. Just play the comp.
Yeah, they seem to be comfortable doing that until someone finally realized it and made a compilation of it. And I don't think they've really done it since then. Or at least not the last few years. But I agree. Or at least, I don't know, do it earlier. I don't care. Do something, because when they get to the end of this game and they're like, okay, well, we haven't done these competitions yet. They're probably right to some degree. Even if they're trying to do a scramble verse and have the HOH be the veto HOH, it doesn't matter. Like, they still know what competitions are probably coming up soon, and they can get ready for them. Whether it's a physical or a mental one, like a stay and fold veto, you get people to have time to come up with a strategy, which completely can break the game, and just have people that are in a certain alliance together win, which we saw already.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the stockpile. Jesus.
Yeah, to get Donnie out. Donnie!
Dumb.
What I'm going to do is just put a whole bunch of stuff in one pile just so I don't have to keep on going around searching for something. And then later down the road, they'll be like, oh my gosh, the one thing that I don't have in my pile, now I have to go run and try to find it before I get out. How many times have we seen that?
We were talking about two different things, but yes, that is also a good reference. Yeah, that's yeah. Everyone that's literally the strategy of the game. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's why they need to do different comps. And I know they're about to do the slip and slide comp because they still haven't done it.
They did a form of it with the veto that Jag won, where you have to fill up you have to catch it in
the feet juice thing.
The football uniform, whatever that one was.
Yeah, remember there was a bunch of feet and it was like spraying liquid.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, I guess. But you know how BB is like, oh no, we have to stick to our usual formula. So we're gonna do all physical. We got to do one mental. Just to please the fans, even though there's like a bunch of running involved with it.
You make a great point. I agree with you. I'm too exhausted at talking at this point to really build upon it, but I just know I agree with you, Zach.
Same. Zach's right.
Oh my God. Ara coming in with the clutch message of Gookopolis. Gookopolis. Sorry, even I couldn't say it. I couldn't say it the wrong way that Julie said it.
Goopopolis.
Wow. The simpler times of this game. Actually, no, that might have been when it was at its most complicated to me. There's a lot of things going on.
I don't know if I'd call that simple.
Find out next week who wins the HOH competition and who
You know what I'm gonna do this week,
but-
Zach? I'm
What?
gonna I downloaded the music the last time you did this, so
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy.
we're gonna actually do it this time.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm here
So
for
Zach,
this.
before we
episode's Sunday.
before we go away, I want you to set up the week ahead. What you hope happens, and also really tease that double eviction at the end of the week. You think you can do that?
Yeah. Wait,
And
you're
just
talking
remember-
about just normal or
I'm gonna play the ending Big Brother
Okay.
music, and you can do your thing. If you stumble at any point, if you don't know what to say, all the better.
okay.
Don't let the pressure of live podcasting get you down. There are 15 people right now who are really
gosh.
on the edge of their seat.
15 million.
15 million people. Come.
Find out Sunday who wins the HOH competition and who gets put on the block to fight for the week. Then on Tuesday, find out what the POV competition is going to be and if it decides to be used or not. And then on Thursday, it's another live eviction, but twice.
How?
Gear up your engines for the double eviction happening next Thursday on Big Brother.
Wow.
It's like he's working for the show. Like I see
honestly
no
saw
difference.
Yeah,
Like,
it is no different to me. I agree. Zach, you have a voiceover career ahead of you.
agreed.
Let me see what Aura just said. One more thing. Do you guys remember the Exorcist con? Did you see on the CVS Big Brother Twitter account that they sent Heisem to the actual Exorcist haunted house at Universal Studios? I did not see this. That's amazing.
I did see that. They posted, I think it was a video they posted. I don't remember, but I remember seeing that when they did that comp. It was funny.
That is funny. I would pull it up if we weren't going for 2.5 hours. But I do have a clip that Zach sent me that I still haven't gotten to yet, which is Suri clocking Felicia, if I am correct, if I remember the.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to do with the backstory is Felicia, or they were saying that Felicia wasn't the target and something like that, and then they were talking with Matt and Jag, and Suri was setting Felicia straight, basically.
Okay.
Prove to Bowie Jane that ain't happening. Then who the fuck is going up?
Now, see, I'm leading through all of that.
Hold on.
But I think he's...
No. You're gonna show her that he lying, that it ain't her and Blue. Who's left?
Well...
America and who else?
No, listen.
Matt?
Listen.
I'm listening.
I know what you're saying, but I think all he's doing is trying to appease her because she thinks she's going up this week.
Okay, if she don't, then who is?
That's what we're going to ask Jag in the room tonight.
That was really good.
Yeah. I'm glad we played that. That's what we're gonna tell him in the room tonight. Yeah, we are.
So he just walks away.
Who left?
A valid question. Who is left? Think. Okay. Anything else you want to add before I play Islands in the Stream and we get out of here?
America for HOH, baby.
That's right. Don't you forget it.
Let's see if it's updated.
It is not. I'm waiting on that feeds bot alert.
I have feed bots sent to my phone, girl.
Unless we missed it. Did we miss it? No, we would have.
No.
Stop making that face.
My phone would have went off.
Stop making that face, Zach. Oh my God. Well,
Michael's won HOH.
Michael again.
Jared.
Oh my god. Okay. Thanks everyone for being here for 2.5 hours. If you were here for 2.5 hours, I commend you. And I applaud you, and I thank you immensely. Thanks for hanging out with us each and every week if you are that kind of person. If you would like this video, that would help us out a ton. If you would subscribe to the channel if you're not already, that would also help us out a ton. And if you are watching in the future and want to comment anything about whatever we discussed, feel free to. If you do not know, we are on all podcast platforms. I almost said platforms like platypus. Those words do not mix and match together great. This begins the awkward ending of the podcast, I think. If you want to catch us on any podcast platform, we're out there. And if you do not know that we are on YouTube, if you're only listening to us on a podcast platform, we're there on YouTube. You can watch us live after the evictions, most of the time every week so far this season. We have a good percentage so far, I will say. Only 3 weeks away, everyone, until we're done with this season forever, which some of you are excited about, some of you are not excited about. But regardless, we have a great double eviction next week to go over, so be sure to come back for that. I know Zack gave you a great tease for it, so that'll be fun time. Please come here for that. In the meantime, you can follow all of us on Twitter. I am at Spicy Barrett, Nick is at the Nick City, and Zack is at the Zack Perez. Those links are also in the description below. Whew. Okay. I don't have much else to say. So, Shy Boy, I will let Roxy know that you, and I assume everybody else, is immensely missing her. We all miss her here, so we will let her know for you. Yeah. Cool. Nick, Zack, thanks for being here. As always, y'all are the true troopers of this podcast. I'm just, Nick, I joke that you'd be the accessory tonight. I'm the accessory to you guys. Y'all are the show. And that's what I really appreciate. So, I love y'all. I really do.
I love you too, Barrett.
I'll say it now that I'm live in front of people. And when I end the stream, it'll be a different story, y'all. Just so you know. Oh my God. Bye, everyone. Zack, say the thing.
Perception is reality. Our reality.
Top 10 worst ways to finish the podcast I think I've ever